Yeah, okay, so as teachers get back into the swing of things in the classroom, they are dealing with many of the same challenges that they walked out for in 2018 during the Red for Ed March in downtown Phoenix. It's been 5 years since thousands of educators and supporters flooded the streets. But what has actually changed? Today, AZ anchor Allison Rodríguez sat down with the president of the Arizona Education Association to talk about how far they've come and what still needs to be done.
That was a moment, and we're part of a movement.
Marisol Garcia was out marching with thousands of teachers and supporters in 2018 in Phoenix. That moment brought her into the movement as president of the Arizona Education Association.
We're still here. We're still wearing our red. We're still talking to our colleagues, and we are growing by the day.
The historic walkout involved tens of thousands of educators and supporters demanding pay raises. The teachers were promised a 20% pay raise over 3 years.
Over the last few years, we have seen a bump in pay. The interesting part, though, is so is every other educator across the country.
That's making it hard to recruit as the state deals with a teacher shortage. But the bump that came from that protest is still being used.
We saw first time where we could fix buildings and we could buy things we couldn't buy, computers and resources. So right now we're kind of holding on to the last part of that funding.
Something else that's changed since 2018 wasn't something they asked for.
What we unfortunately saw was a lot of attacks on educators, especially become amplified during COVID.
In 2018, support for educators was at a high. She says things have changed.
This is what happens if we don't tell people our stories, if we're not open about what's happening in schools, and if we don't expect respect in our profession.
But the teachers she knows are staying the course as the new year gets underway.
There's a resiliency that it doesn't matter what you may say, into a camera, into a microphone, on Twitter. What really matters is the work when we have kids walk into our classrooms and we are focused in on what we're teaching them.
Man, we're so lucky to have such great teachers. Arizona's education system still ranks low nationally with low per pupil spending and larger class sizes. But Garcia says teacher passion is still there and most parent-teacher relationships are great. She says they're also focused on adding better benefits for teachers all across our state.